The West Bank is roughly the size of Delaware, home to 3 million Palestinians and more than 500,000 Israelis. Israel seized it from Jordan during the 1967 Arab-Israeli War and has since built dozens of illegal settlements on the occupied land the Palestinians want for their future state. In April, Israel approved 34 more illegal settlements, according to the Peace Now watchdog group. The settlement movement has provoked waves of deadly violence on both sides. And in the last few days, a group of Israeli settlers began an effort to force 2 Palestinian families from their homes in the West Bank town of Qusra. We'll talk to a family member in a moment about that incident, but first, our Britt Clement reports from the West Bank on the violent ultra-nationalist settlers who have intensified their attacks on Palestinians in the last 2 years with unspoken support from Israeli authorities.
I find this hard to believe. Very, very hard to believe.
Ragda Abu Siam is still in shock and in a world of pain.
This is me with him. Aww.
On February 18th, her 19-year-old son, Nasrallah, an American citizen, was with his friends who say they were trying to stop armed settlers from stealing their cattle. In this video, you can see the moment Nasrallah is shot down by Israeli settlers in an intense clash on the hillside near their home in Mukmas in the occupied West Bank.
He was trying to save his friend's life. They shoot him with no reason. He was not attacking them. They were attacking us and him. It's just hate, just hate.
Nasrallah is at least the 8th American citizen to be killed by Israeli settlers or soldiers since 2024, according to the human rights advocacy group Dawn. Nasrallah's father, Mohammed, takes us to where it happened. It's the first time he's been there since.
Over here?
Oh, here. كانوا يضربوا في الولد هان. ما لحقش يوصل من هان لهان. عندي الشيك هذا بقى يضربوا في الولد. استشهد هان. هيدا عموين. هان استشهد هيدا عموين. حبيبي.
Ten days later, the war with Iran began. When the West Bank is attacked, it's only the settlers who have somewhere safe to go.
That grey structure, that is a temporary shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Israel just established this in the first day of war. Immediately they brought it and they put it here, but Palestinians have no rights to have it.
In the southern West Bank village of Al Khair, local journalist Eid Salamen Hadalin shows me where Israeli settlers have set up a new outpost a few hundred yards from where these Palestinians live.
Settlers took the advantage from this time where nobody thinking or looking to what happened in the occupied territories. Mm-hmm. They built more outposts in the West Bank. They attack Palestinians 24 hours a day. All these flags established just a few days ago to show the power.
During our interview, a drone appears above us. Moments later, a few settlers approach.
Let me tell you something about those Palestinians who you think allegedly got killed, all right? You come in here for overseas and say to us, to Israelis, on our land, that we are good?
Well, actually, this is Palestinian land, isn't it?
There's no such thing as Palestine, yes.
Since the outbreak of the Iran war, violence in the West Bank has become more frequent and more brutal. In the first month of this war, 20 Palestinians have been killed in the West Bank. On this hill, an Israeli settler opened fire on a group of Palestinians, killing one of them.
According to the UN, Israeli settlers killed 6 Palestinians in March. That's nearly the same as all of last year. At the same time, Israeli settlers are also expanding their outposts, makeshift camps which are illegal even under Israeli law.
You see a new outpost there. 1, 2.
Dror Edkis, an Israeli who tracks the expansion of settlements and outposts, shows us how these have multiplied since the war with Iran began.
Just think, you have 3 million Palestinians in West Bank. So you want to push them farther and farther and to squeeze them and to squeeze them and to squeeze them. Where there are new settlers, where there are new outposts, there is a new wave of violence, always.
They come hand in hand.
Exactly, because once settlers are, for example, here in this hilltop, okay, last year, once they establish an outpost on this hilltop, so the whole area has become inaccessible, it becomes dangerous.
Has it ever been this bad?
No, it's never been such bad. No. This is beyond my worst nightmares.
This video shows the moment settlers attack a group of Israeli volunteers working with Palestinians in the village of Kuzra. In an attack from the same outpost 2 weeks later, 28-year-old Amir Oder was shot dead in a confrontation with settlers. His father was beaten in the head and stabbed in the leg several times.
في مستوطنين يعني المستوطنين مش واحد واثنين فوق ال 25 واحد قدامنا في الام 16 بكى ابني جنبي هان وقع بقول لي ابني بقولوا موت موت بعديها جا واحد مسكني واحد كبير انا بقول له ابني بعديها فقدت الوعي.
As we're filming, we're told the settlers are coming back to the village.
We heard that there has been an attack at the same viewing point we were at, so we're going to go back up and see what has happened. There are about 5 Israeli settlers on that hillside. They're wearing masks. Some of them are carrying big wooden sticks, steel bars. They're trying to intimidate the Palestinians here.
Palestinians call the Israeli Defense Forces to tell them settlers are intimidating them on their land, adding the American media are present. About 40 minutes later, 5 IDF and police vehicles arrive. The Palestinians say it's an unusually large response. We spoke with border police officers to get some clarity about their presence.
They say that they're here to evacuate them from the place.
Okay, forever? They'll never be able to come back?
אז אתה אומר עכשיו עוד שעה אין פה כבר אנשים במאחז.
אנחנו שואפים, אנחנו לא יכולים למנוע את זה.
I just spoke to a man who lost his son in an attack. He was attacked here on his own land.
Do not cross the line.
What line? Where is the line? I don't see the line.
And 3 nights later in Kuzra,
we're just a few hundred yards from where those soldiers spoke to us. We got a call in the middle of the night from locals here saying that their village had been attacked by settlers again. And look, I mean, dead chickens all over the ground here. Their coop set on fire. It's completely charred out. You can see this truck is still smoldering. I can smell burnt plastic and metal still. You know, the IDF had told us that they were cracking down on these kind of attacks, but clearly they keep happening.
in a statement to ABC News, the IDF says when receiving any report of a breach of law and order, IDF troops are deployed to the area and act to disperse confrontations and detain suspects. Regarding the incident in Kuzra, the IDF states that forces acted to prevent further escalation and that 8 Israelis were apprehended by the Israel police. As for the killing of Nasrallah and Amir, the IDF says the cases are under investigation.
So no one has been punished for killing your son?
No one of them. No one of them. They're still free and they come to the village every single day, cause problems, and no one stopped them. Just because we are Palestinian. That's all.
Our thanks to Britt Clennon. The current source of tension involves 2 Palestinian families who have been under siege by Israeli settlers, cutting them off from food and aid since Sunday. Today, Israeli soldiers were deployed into the area to try and end the standoff with little success. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee has called the siege a horrific act of terror. One of those families is the brother and nephew of Palestinian-American Loui Ridi, who built the home in the West Bank enclave. He joins us now. Mr. Ridi, thank you for joining us here. So I understand that you spoke with your brother today. Can you describe what they are going through right now?
Well, I've been speaking with my brother all day today, and all of the last 5, actually 6 days now. He's been under siege by the settlers since Sunday. Today, he's under siege by the settlers and the IDF. He's with his neighbors sitting in my home. and the IDF took over the neighbor's home, and they're not allowed to leave the house. They're not allowing anyone to provide them any food or supplies since Sunday.
So we're looking at the video here. It appears they're throwing something, could be rocks or something, toward the property. Do we know what they've been doing to the house?
Well, we've been dealing with the settlers for the 8 months ago. They came in the area early January, and since then there's a lot of events happening. They vandalize the house, they break in, they damage a lot of property around the house, and it's been ongoing. And Sunday, things getting escalated in a dangerous situation when they decided to build the tent in front of the house, creating a siege on my brother and his son and their neighbor. They take it to the extreme.
Do they feel that their lives are in danger?
Absolutely, it is a terrifying moment for my brother and his son. They were alone in the house. They could not sleep all night. They have to stay awake. The father has to stay up till 5 in the morning. He wake up his son so he can watch what's going on, so they can turns on sleep with no food. They cut off the electricity, the main line coming from the village. They cut off the main water line coming from the village. Now they do have water. It's a well water from last winter. It's unsafe to drink, but they are using it because that's the only option they have. Now electricity, because they cut off the electricity multiple times, so they installed solar system that works on battery. And it's an emergency backup. At the middle of the night, it turns off, and then they wait until the sun rises and it charges again. And this is how they have electricity.
So we did hear from Ambassador Mike Huckabee, U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, today. He has called this latest incident a horrific act of terror. What do you want to say to him or the State Department about what's going on right now to try and resolve the situation?
Well, saying it on the social media, they are terrorists, that's not enough. We need protection, and we need them to be removed permanently out of the residential area so we can have a safe and dignity to live in this house. Yesterday, the IDF left after this clash. It lasted a couple hours. I was watching it live from my security cameras. They left the scene, and the settlers stayed in the area. And then they came back again today, and they run away from them. And they come back, they run away, then they come back. And today there are only 5 of them or 6. And still unable to remove 5 settlers. I mean, that's, I don't know what to say about that.
Loui Ridi, thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing your family story with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.